All right. Here we are on a stormy night, depending on where you're calling in from or when you're practicing with us, but it's wildly cold and windy out here right now. Um, so I hope everybody's has safety and warmth and these prerequisites for practice that shelter and medicine, food, clothing are considered prerequisites for to be able to practice. Um, I don't really have a full Dharma talk tonight. I just have a few thoughts that are inspiring me right now and that I think are uh, what I would call juicy. They're helpful and beautifully said. And both these thoughts come from Christina Feldman's book, A Boundless Heart, that I've put the link down below of this YouTube recording, and it's here in the Zoom chat. Christina Feldman's book on the Brahma Viharas, the heart abode practices of loving kindness, befriending, compassion, where the befriending opens to and turns towards suffering in the world, and mudita, where the heart resonates with the joy and good fortune and well-being of others. And lastly, the very important practice of and state and no, not state. Yeah, the practice of equanimity. Um, I changed my mind from saying state because it sounds like a place you get to and then you're in that state, whereas equanimity is this ongoing responding to life. And it's really in that theme of equanimity that these quotes are showing up today. Um, One of the near enemies, each of these Brahma Viharas or heart abode practices have what's called a near enemy and a far enemy. The far enemy is basically something that's its opposite, right? The far enemy of kindness would be cruelty. Um, and but they also have a near enemy, so something that sounds a lot like it. It can be easily confused with this quality. Near one of the near enemies of equanimity might be detachment or feeling kind of aloof or above it all or separate from the joys and sorrows of life. And this can show up when mm, some people use their meditation practice or lots of other practices to disconnect from the pain of this life, where they kind of like, oh, well, it is what it is. Or someone just said that to me this week. I'm just thinking that, yeah, um, it is what it is, or it could be worse, or uh, what's the other way people say this? Oh well, nothing I can do about it. It's kind of this shrugging off of life, or sometimes practices that can be more like spiritual bypassing, where mm, people just kind of build a little sparkly bubble around themselves of like, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, just like, uh, well, some cults do this, right? Where there's a constant chant to like, don't think about anything else, just keep chanting, or practices where we're just kind of see ourselves floating above everything on a cloud. And these are ways that can seem like equanimity, like it is what it is. It can kind of sound like, oh, well, they seem like they're coping well with it. And it might mean that for some people. So I don't know what it means for individuals, but it could be um, a way of not really turning towards and opening to and feeling, attending, befriending how it is. Uh, which brings me to one of these quotes from Christina's book. She says, "It is possible to surround discomfort with a calm stillness." Hmm. Which is different than trying to write above it or not pay attention to it or tuck it into a box and put it on a shelf and shrug it off. But to surround the discomfort with a calm stillness is yum. Such a good phrase, a good statement, a good invitation. It just feels really possible. Hopefully, it feels possible for you that, okay, that sounds somewhat possible. I mean, here she's using the word discomfort, which is a pretty light version of dukkha. We know that stress and dukkha can be all the way to like profound despair. The what's the angst and despair, I think is the strongest word I can think of right now of which is so different than discomfort. Most of the time, most of our day is around the discomfort or stress or anxiety part of the continuum of dukkha. I, I always have to backtrack when I throw out Pali words like that. So uh, this I'm using the Pali word dukkha because the English words are this whole continuum, everything from discontent, mild discomfort, don't quite like it, wish it wasn't that way, all the way up into the absolute angst and despair and um, collapse. And so even that, it is possible to surround however it is with calm stillness. When we're in it, in the thick of it, it doesn't sometimes feel possible. We're just overcome with despair or grief or, all the flavors of that suffering. And so this is why we come to Sangha and why we have wise friends that we sit with and meet with and people that remind us, or we have tools and practices that we build in our daily life when things are just uncomfortable so that they're more likely to show up when things get super intense. So this description of surrounding discomfort or dukkha with calm stillness is a beautiful description of equanimity, of um, one of the translations of equanimity means to stand in the middle of this, to be equally near to all things is another one. And it really this sentence of hers surrounding discomfort is really being close with it, attending with it, with a kind of spacious, calm stillness that can either be felt kind of externally, just kind of surrounding it with this awake awareness that has this spacious capacity. Another description of equanimity is like standing on top of a mountain and having that big, wide, spacious view. The view that includes the awareness of all beings, that this is the nature of life, these impermanence and this lack of control over most things. So it can have be felt in that spacious quality, or and also internally, like where is the still point? When we feel ourselves in great distress and emotional fire, um, to cultivate in the times when we're not in pain, where is your still point? Where's the touch point? For some people, they feel it kind of in the hara, the upper part of the belly. For some people, they connect with like the heart center, the chitta, this little, I just feel like a tiny seed of calm stillness or still point. Others might kind of see it as a, kind of a third eye deeper in the center of the brain. So see, when we do this meditation, what is there a place in the body that feels like a still point that you could cultivate as a place to remember that you can come back to when it's really needed, because it will be. Another thing that Christina says in this chapter on equanimity, sometimes just the wording of things really stands out. It's like, oh, that's not really a new thought, but the way it's said, it's like, oh, that's so good. And she said, the size of the task is only ever equal to the size of the moment. How often does the size of the task feel monumental, overwhelming, massive, like especially if we're in some form of pain, physically, mentally, emotionally, this exacerbating, proliferating habit of mind uh, can really make things exponentially massive. And but the size of the task is only ever equal to the size of the moment. It just, oh, I love that. It just drops it right in like, oh, actually, it's only right now that I'm responding to. What what's needed right now? Maybe surrounding this discomfort with calm stillness or finding the calm stillness within it. That's possible in this moment. No matter how big the projected task or it's not necessarily a task, but all the things that we feel overwhelmed with and confused by and uncertain about and uh, contracted around. I just find that so helpful. The size of the task is actually only ever equal to the size of the moment. And a moment is not even a thing. What's a moment? There's no moments. There's no moments. It's not a thing. Even if we try to point to a moment, it's not a thing. It's a constantly evolving, flowing, effervescent, changing, shifting life all the time. And even though we talk about like the now and present moment, I mean I say these things all the time. And I hear myself and I'm like, yeah, it's not really a thing, but it's just a convenience of language. The same way that I say I is a convenience of language. I don't really see myself as a separate, permanent, um, continuous individual. But sometimes we just have to use the word, yeah, I'm coming over, or I'll see you later. But we don't really have to believe it. Yeah, so even the size of the moment, what does that even mean? Just means befriending, metta, loving kindness. Oh, it's like this right now. Sweetheart, what do you need? It's like this right now. and now, because each time we meet this moment with this calm stillness and this caring attention, it's already changing. And because of karma, it is affected by how we meet the moment. When we meet anything with resistance, with overwhelm, with fear, with dread, with proliferation, that's the fuel. That's the direction it's going to go. Hmm. I think that's all I have to say. I always surprise myself when it's short. Oh, look at me. I did it. Yeah, they're really simple, these two words, but I find them super helpful, and I hope there's something helpful for you in these. Um, yeah, uh, yeah, I'm gonna stop. So let's practice with it and cultivate some of this equanimity practice. All right, I'm gonna adjust some water. Hmm. As you're settling into posture for an equanimity meditation practice, it can be helpful to kind of feel that shifting, swaying sense of being. You can kind of let the body tip side to side or forward and back slowly and mindfully, and then feel into that sensation of a plumb line, a string with a weighted anchor that slowly starts to find its resting place. So we could invite that feeling into the body, just allowing some minor shifting and adjusting of the posture. So we're not leaning forward into the next moment or pushing away. And then just drop that weight, that plumb line down as if it's your sacrum. The spine is that thread. And there's a very small degree of effort needed to hold ourselves in this uprightness, or if you're practicing reclining. We don't need a lot of muscular tension, just aligning the bones and then letting the muscles, the skin, the flesh just drape over this warm rest like clay over a wire sculpture. And then we'll start to guide ourselves into this sense of really settling into embodiment by feeling the muscles of the face, seeing if any care or space or attention is needed in these muscles, muscles of worry, muscles of talking. All the little muscles around the eyes that are busy all day seeking can just come to rest. Inviting the muscles of the neck to lengthen as the shoulders relax down. Letting the hands remember the practice of letting go. Feeling into the whole torso, the chest and belly, ribs, back. If there's been kind of shallow breathing or tension through the day, might find it helpful to take a few slightly deeper breaths and just feel some freedom, some movement, some expansion. Feeling into the deep inner layers of the abdomen. And if we've been feeling overwhelm or fear, grief, anger, this is an area that can often be contracted. See if any softness is helpful here. Upper body continues settling and arriving as we feel the sensations of grounding. The hips, pelvis, legs, feet. One of the very important factors of cultivating this calm stillness is our ethics, our sila, morality. So you could take some time to reflect on your values of how you want to show up and be in the world. Or I'll also mention our 5 lay precepts, these trainings and interbeing contracts that we undertake to refrain from causing harm or taking life, to abstain from taking more than is freely offered to us, to refrain from speaking falsely and harmfully, harshly, to refrain from causing harm with our sexuality or sensuality, and to refrain from heedlessness caused by intoxicants. So feel your ethics, your morality as this upright energy, your backbone, your inner strength. Even as the body is relaxing in relationship with gravity, we feel this opposite energy drawing upwards. So we could feel some balance, some equanimity here in our posture. And then we'll allow a sphere of awareness, kind of like a permeable bubble, surround your whole being right now. Awareness gets a little bit wider, above, below, in front, behind, side to side, each quarter, a whole sphere of awareness that just knows the posture you're in this so-called moment. Very little effort is needed here to just float open this slightly spacious awareness. I used to have a snow globe that had sparkles in it instead of snow and a meditating figure in the center. So that might be another felt experience that's helpful. This sphere of awareness with this calm stillness, surrounded by calm stillness and embodied, centered in calm stillness. Nothing needs to be fixed, nothing to be done, just resting, awake, aware, calm stillness. And know that it is possible to surround discomfort with a calm stillness. So you can just let it be known, whatever is uncomfortable, fearful, painful, uncertain, can just gently be here without adding story. It's just known within this field of calm stillness. And then you might also gently inquire if there's a felt experience of an inner still point. Is there a place that feels like an embodied experience? If it was somewhere in your body. Where might that feeling be? This calm stillness. No need to overthink it. Just get curious. And that still point of calm stillness also has the capacity to meet discomfort, however it is. Just spend a few more moments getting familiar with it, even if thoughts of doubt arise or uncertainty, just bring some curiosity. Maybe you connect with it more in a spacious way or more with a internal still point. And then we could also invite in some really gentle awareness of something that might feel really big or overwhelming. And then recall this teaching from Christina: the size of the task is only ever equal to the size of the moment. In this moment, calm stillness has the capacity to be alongside however it is. May I open to change with stillness and calm. May I open to change with stillness and calm. May I deeply accept this moment as it is. May I deeply accept this moment as it is. May I feel embodied with spaciousness and balancing. May I feel embodied with spaciousness and balancing, responding, equanimity. May I remember it is possible to surround discomfort with a calm stillness. May I remember it is possible to surround discomfort with a calm stillness. May I remember it's possible to surround discomfort with a calm stillness. Mm. If you've practiced with us here on the YouTube channel, just a note to check the notes down below in the description. There's a link there to our upcoming New Year's retreat and a link for our annual fundraising drive where all donations are both tax deductible, charitable donation, and are being matched, and so doubling your impact at this time. So please check those links, and the link to Christina's book is there as well. And thanks for practicing with us.